Game of great interest for the Gills supporters, and a bit of a double-edged sword about who do we want to win, especially as they're up against a team managed by dear Mr. Evans. But it's about what we do. We know we've got a big task on our hands against a team from a different world, really, in a footballing sense, that where they're up against week in, week out. It's just completely different to what we're up against. But there's a fantastic crowd in. There's going to be a good atmosphere, as you mentioned. Carlos Arba saying that that could be a key to things. We want Priestfield to be, dare I say, a hostile place to come to, a place that people don't want to come to. And I guess you just wonder, when you're playing Manchester United and Manchester City and Liverpool and all these sort of people every week, do you really get up for it when you're playing at Gillingham? Who are they?
We're about to find out, aren't we? I'm told that a certain Kent cricketer who is from Yorkshire in Jack Leaning is in the away end this afternoon, but I suspect the rest of the team would love to see the Kent club going through. We're about to get underway then here on BBC Radio Kent. Maidstone are through. Can Gills follow? Up against top flight side Sheffield United. The last time these two teams met, it was a League One fixture at Bramall Lane in 2017. Josh Wright scored twice in a 2-2 draw. And if you go back to 2015, Gillingham beat Sheffield United 4-0 on the opening day of the League One season. Bradley Dack starring that day. I don't think we're putting any money on 4-0 this afternoon, that's for sure, but we are up and running. Gillingham beat Hereford and Charlton Athletic to get to this stage. As I mentioned, Sheffield United, last season's semi-finalists, of course, overcame Wrexham to get there. I'll run you through the two teams in a moment as Gills come forward down the right-hand side, but choosing not to take the throw-in quickly, mainly because there were two balls on the pitch, Peter Lloyd.
Yeah, it just doesn't help terribly. But good atmosphere, as you'd expect, and if Gills can get off to a decent start, be solid, the crowd are going to be right behind the team. There's no two ways about that. But we've got to be realistic that this is a very decent team we're up against. But today, get the press on.
Albeit a team low on confidence, as that one's fired back to Robinson from Norwood. This will go out of play for a goal kick. Sheffield United have Wes Foderingham in goal. There I was saying in the interview to Stephen Clements about wing backs, we've actually gone with a back four. Chris Wilder's side this afternoon, with Sariki playing at right back, former Rochdale loanee, and then Luke Thomas on loan from Leicester is the left back, as Norrington Davis receives the pass from Robinson, his fellow centre-half. Wes Foderingham, their goalkeeper.
I'd have to say that because of the fact that Sheffield United want to play it out from the back, give Gills a chance to get a little bit of a press on, and I don't think that they're going to want to play a long ball game necessarily, Sheffield United.
Yeah, Norwood sitting deep in midfield, as it's won back by Gustavo Harmer in there. We've also got the likes of James McAtee and Andre Brooks supporting Will Osula and Cameron Archer in attack. But here come Gillingham down the right hand side. Shea Alexander going ahead of Conor Mahoney, but it's overhit and out of play for a goal kick. Gills have Jake Turner in goal, three centre halves in Connor Masterson, Max Emer, Shad Oji, Scott Malone, the goal machine that is, at left wing back, Shea Alexander at right back, Ethan Coleman, Dom Jeffries, Conor Mahoney central midfield, Ashley Naderson in attack with Ollie Hawkins. But here comes Sheffield United, booming cross-field pass out towards the right-hand side. Sariki there, supported by James McAtee, the Manchester City loanee. Back towards Norwood. Harmer, £15 million worth of midfield material.
There's a bit of context, isn't it?
Indeed. He's on the ball once again now on the edge of the box, trying to line up a shot with his left foot, which is blocked. Inside the opening 3 minutes, shot comes in from range from Luke Thomas, easily gobbled up by the Gillingham goalkeeper Jake Turner.
Yeah, that was if that's the hardest thing that Jake faces all day, we'll be very, very happy indeed. But that whole movement came from you're saying not going to play a long ball game, just pinged a pass 50 yards to a teammate. Again, saying that probably with the exception of Mahoney, you don't see a lot of that in League Two either.
Norrington Davis header away as Gills fire it up towards Ollie Hawkins. On the right hand side, Mahoney putting his foot in, but he'll come back towards Norwood. Knocks the ball over the top, looking for Osula to chase it. Max Emer has to stretch to clear his lines.
They did well there, Max. It wasn't one for a header back.
Ball up the line for Jeffries with his energy in midfield, but well tracked by Harmer. And in the right back area, Sheffield United in possession. 0-0 on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub in the opening 4 minutes here at Priestfield.
Yeah, you'd expect that Sheffield United will probably have a fair degree of possession. We've got to get a lot of bodies behind the ball when we're out of possession, but at the same time, we don't want to gift them anything, make them work for it. And if we can do that and be competitive, then there's always a chance that we can nick something.
On the halfway line, Sheffield United in possession. Luke Thomas, ball in field. Brooks slipping, tempted through ball is cut out by Maxima.
Bit of a comedy of errors really there, wasn't it? I mean, it was a dreadful pass that actually found a teammate by mistake, and then the ball he played forward was equally bad, so just get the ball back.
Turner fires it forward, looking for Hawkins' flick on. Nadesan with his pace collects the ball inside left. Malone on his outside. Malone looking to fire the ball in towards Hawkins, headed away by Sheffield United, comes back towards Nadesan. Hawkins is onside, tees it up for Coleman. Alexander right edge of the box. Masterson trying to join in and help him out. Little dink ball in towards Connor Masterson on his left foot. Chance to shoot towards goal, and it's blocked by Robinson. Did so well, Masterson, to ghost into the penalty area. Looked like it was opening out perfectly for him to take the shot on, but Sheffield United defend it well. It's nicked back by Hawkins. Cleared away off the shins of Mahoney. That's just got the Priestfield crowd involved.
Just took one touch too many there, Masters, and had to ping it just one touch earlier. Took another touch to then go with his left foot. It was bravely blocked. I just see if he'd let it, had that extra touch, let the shot go quickly. Who knows? Miscontrol, I think the back went horribly wrong for Sheffield United, and really good start for Gills. Lovely movement from Masters, and really good dink ball from Alexander to find him. And you just wonder there that it shows that we can make chances.
0-0 Gillingham against Sheffield United as OG knocks it forward, collected by Thomas. Inside their own half, Sheffield United on the ball. Ramsgate leading Lancing in the Isthmian divisions. I think Jack Paxman scored 2 minutes into his debut there, so they lead by a goal to 0. 0-0 here. Maidstone 1-0 winners through Sam Corn's penalty earlier on in this FA Cup third round. They are in the hat for round 4. Ball played through, looking for Osula, who's broken free of the offside trap, but the flag is up anyway over on the far side. Yeah,
I think despite the fact we're playing 3 centre-backs, he'd gone a bit early, and that was a pretty comfortable one for the assistant on the far side, I would suggest. He was a bit enthusiastic.
Maxima on the ball. Inside 7 minutes here at Priestfield. 0-0 between the League 2 side up against the bottom of the Premier League outfit. Ball fired up towards Ollie Hawkins, trying to control it on his chest, away by Sheffield United, but collected by right back Shea Alexander.
If we can hit Hawkins, there were times where he got that flick on a moment ago for Nadesan, but hit him and play off him. Shadoji
goes past his man and drives forward from left-sided centre half, gets the ball back now off Hawkins, tries to stab it through towards Nadesan. Dom Jeffries, the Welshman, gets it back. Mahoney takes a shot on. I think it clipped off the heels of Nadesan, unfortunately. Gills fans think it's a corner, but it's gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, definitely came off Nadesan. I think Mahoney suddenly thought, I can strike a ball pretty cleanly. Didn't quite get what he wanted.
Don't mind that from Conor Mahoney.
But again, Gills, playing through Hawkins, but not necessarily in the air, that he can get his foot in. OG, there's no reason why one of the 3 centre-backs can't carry the ball out, and that'll probably only be Masterson and OG, obviously.
Well, Harmer had made a good run from midfield there, but Luke Thomas didn't decide to try and pick him out. Sheffield United still have the ball at the back.
But that's what we've got to expect. They'll have a fair bit of possession, but when we turn it over, we've already shown that we can get into some really good positions and potentially cause them a few concerns.
0-0 at Priestfield, BBC Radio Kent, FA Cup third round day. Brooks for Sheffield United in possession. At the moment, Gillingham happy to sit off him and get back in their defensive structure.
Let them, if they want to play in the central third, we'll just keep tracking across, making the recovery runs, not give them anything easy.
Gillingham tend to try and keep things tight. Certainly this season, 1-0 to the Gills has been the most popular way of trying to win games as the diagonal ball is headed away by Scott Malone. But out of play for a Sheffield United throw-in, level with the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side. Sariki takes it quickly, gives it back to Harmer. Norwood in central midfield, but forced briefly back towards halfway.
Again, though, we're not unhappy with this.
Thomas on the left-hand side. Archer from the left side, the former Villa man. Again, a big money signing. £18.5 million he was worth to join in the Blades this season. We've also got a man in Ryan Brewster on the bench who was worth a similar amount of money a few years ago. Prolific in the Championship, both of those two guys. Haven't quite cut it at Premier League level as such. No Archer on the score sheet in one of their 2 wins this season. Against Wolves and then Brentford 1-0. McAtee scored in that one as this one's defended well by Maxima, and Masterson trying to bring it away for Gillingham has found Naderson. He's looking to dance away from Norrington Davis, pings it into the feet of Hawkins.
He really did ping it as well, unfortunately. Really didn't give Hawkins much chance to control that.
Yeah, allowed Robinson the chance to clear it away.
Yeah, he's apologising now to Hawkins. He's got a bit excited there, really fired the pass at him.
Sheffield United lead by a 1-0 against Chichester City in their Isthmian League game in the South East Division. 0-0 here inside 10 minutes at Priestfield. Sheffield United, the Premier League side, on the ball through Robinson, their captain, firing it out towards McAtee on the right hand side. Low pass, trying to trick his way past Shad Oji. Still in possession, finds Luke Thomas. Sheffield United with the black shorts and socks. McAtee's socks down low by his ankles.
They're going to be quite narrow still though, aren't they, Sheffield United, which will suit us.
Worked out towards the right hand side for Sariki, but that will be seen out by Oji for a goal kick.
So there's a lot of traffic there. All the players, all the outfield players were condensed into the width of the penalty area. If you're then going to, if we're going to let them have possession, in this case sort of 25, 30, 35 yards from our goal, they've got a lot of players to thread passes through then. Yes, they've got the quality, but they've got to get it absolutely right. And there again, Gills just did enough, and they played a little give and go, and Oji just escorts off the pitch for a goal kick.
Yeah, the Blades playing a 4-1-4-1 or a 4-3-3 this afternoon, but Archer and McAtee, who are playing as the kind of wing forwards, not necessarily wide men. Harmer's playing a bit more centrally as Gillingham look to come forward here, but Malone didn't quite see the pass, or didn't see the run rather of Naderson.
There was nice little link up between Gills players, and unfortunately Malone put it into the place that Naderson was vacating rather than running into.
Played forward looking for Cameron Archer, but just over hit. Jake Turner will come and grab that, the Gills goalkeeper.
I think that was quite cynical by Archer actually, because he then bumped into the Gills goalkeeper, not going to get a free kick, but it just meant he didn't release the ball quickly into the space behind him where Alexander was.
Here is Alexander, an international in this Gillingham lineup after his recent appearance for his country in the Caribbean. He got a victory on that occasion, St Lucia as well.
Yeah, I think it's perhaps coming back from that, found it a little bit difficult to sort of get in the side and maintain the quality perhaps he was hoping to.
Obviously in competition with the likes of Robbie McKenzie, who's on the bench today for Gills. Gills can name 9 substitutes for this one, so there's a load of experience in there with Sean Williams, and then Tim Dieng also adding to the squad that were involved in the Colchester United win on New Year's Day. No new signings out yet for Gills in the January transfer window. We're pretty sure Johnson Clark-Harris isn't going to be one of them after discussions with the owner and the head coach this week on that topic.
Yeah, I think it would take a substantial sum for his club and for him, I suspect, to extract someone like that.
Yeah, I think that was what everyone expected as Gillingham's name were mentioned by those connected to Peterborough. I think they were just perhaps trying to drum up that interest from Charlton Athletic once again. We've heard that all about that kind of thing before with Alfie May in the summer.
Again, Jeffries has done well, but it's the team as a whole have made difficult that Sheffield United trying to thread balls through the eye of a needle. Jeffries gets in there, gets possession, goes back to the keeper admittedly, but Gills break up another sortie forward from the visitors.
Gills have it in possession. Maxima fires the ball forward. Man now into the top 10 appearances for Gills. That's a lovely touch by Alexander, and driving forward, who can he pick out on the edge of the box? Just didn't quite make a decision. Maybe there wasn't an obvious option on for him.
Didn't back himself there, I think, to either cut back inside or use his left foot.
Osula now up against Maxima, going around the outside on his right foot, tight angle, and he's fired it in as well. Looks like it's gone through the legs of Jake Turner.
But yes, it's a
bizarre situation in that the Sheffield United fans didn't even realise that the ball had ended up in the back of the net. But 14 minutes in, Gillingham go behind. Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 1.
Well, Gills have defended pretty reasonably, but there suddenly he got isolated against Maxima. He's gone on the outside. He's probably just quick enough to do that. I've got to be honest and say I suspect that Jake Turner is going to be very, very disappointed. It wasn't the best angle. He's been done at the near post. It's almost gone through the Gills keeper, and that's a blow. There's no two ways about that. I think very few people in the ground actually realised it had gone in. Thought perhaps it had gone into the side netting, but I think we'll be very disappointed with that goal, and I think Jake Turner especially will feel that from that angle he perhaps shouldn't be getting beaten.
Swift break from Sheffield United after Alexander losing the ball high up the pitch. Ball fired up towards Hawkins. Nadesan out towards the left hand side. Can Gillingham respond straight away? Malone fires this in towards the penalty area. Hawkins almost looked like he tried to dummy it for Mahoney. Cleared forward by Gillingham. Malone is onside as he goes around the outside of Sariki. That should be a corner.
Yeah, good response from Gills. It was a bit of a stunner, that goal, seemingly from a position where you're expecting probably to be able to defend it. Suddenly the ball's in the back of the net, and
you say, just from the angle, it didn't look like it was possible really for Osula to squeeze it in from there. Hence perhaps surprise of the away fans when the ball ended up in the net. Masterson perhaps ruined that chance to put Gills ahead. A short corner here. Scott Malone in towards the penalty area, flicked on off a defender. OG can't collect it at the back post, and the Blade should be able to clear, although Brooks has given it away.
Yeah, I think there was a foul by Coleman before OG was brought down there, so I think the referee's got that right. It's a free kick to the visitors.
Referee Darren Bond blowing up.
Didn't quite fall for us there at that corner, did it? The touch just took it away from OG at the sort of back post area. But long way to go in this game. Obviously we'd rather not be coming from behind, but it's we've had a bright start, really, the goal aside.
Yeah, but it's not going to be 1-0 Gillingham today. They trail against Premier League Sheffield United. Will Osula with the opener. Inside 15 minutes. Now would be a really good time for Gillingham to start bucking that trend of not coming from behind in games. Here's Brooks in central midfield.
Just have a little bit of a reset. There's a long way to go. The game is far from gone by any means, but obviously it's just dampened the atmosphere a little bit.
McAtee, will that just free up the visitors? And this is a chance for a second. Archer scuffed it though, after indecision really at the back between Jake Turner and one of his defenders. Almost allowed Harmer to square it for an easy tap in. Thankfully there were men there to block, and Archer really didn't get the connection he was looking for.
I think OG was expected to come out and deal with it, and Turner's just had a shaky couple of minutes.
Archer down the left hand side, Alexander with him, out of play for a corner.
I think really that looked as though it was all day. OG was just escorting it back to the keeper. Whether Turner's just taken his eye off the ball at the last moment, fumbled it, and suddenly there's a gilt-edged opportunity, and I think, as you say, the shot a bit like the one from Mahoney earlier. I think he may have kicked against his own player, but Gill's got a corner to defend, and I think Jake Turner will they'll probably be hoping for a nice dolly catch now, I suspect.
Corner to Sheffield United incoming. Gillingham already trailing in this game as it's curled in towards the near post, headed away by Nadesan. McAtee collects on the edge of the box, tries a left-footed snapshot which is smashed away by Gillingham. Dom Jeffries chasing after it, but simple header from Thomas back to his goalkeeper. Like you say, after conceding, Gillingham have just got to have a little bit of a reset here and make sure they stay in this game for as long as possible.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, obviously if it goes to 2-0, it's a very, very long way back, but they're just, I'm sure Turner will be probably hoping not to do too much for a few minutes, but hopefully have a positive contribution next.
Jeffries over the halfway line with his bustling energy after Coleman had secured possession for Gillingham. Here's Scott Malone, the left back, feeding Coleman. Maxime now in possession. Space for Connor Masterson. Perhaps had that chance to open the scoring for Gillingham. Just as Peter was suggesting, maybe he took that one extra touch and his left-footed shot was blocked. Nice running from Naderson up the right flank. He takes it quickly as well, the throw-in. Not often the centre-forward takes the throw-in. OG out towards the left-hand side. Malone for Gillingham. Midway through the Sheffield United half. OG now in possession. Everyone back for the Blades.
I think they want to come over to the right side because Hawkins is far post.
Ema dinks it towards him.
He's
Hawkins
offside.
deemed to be offside. As a shot comes in from Jeffries. Some in the Rayner men haven't seen the flag. There's a fine finish from the knockdown from Hawkins, who did take a step back knowing that he was cutting it fine for the offside, but clearly that wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's pity. I think he didn't need to be that tight to the offside line. It was going to be a ball dinked up towards him to go and win a first header. It's a slightly careless one.
So it remains Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 1. Would have been quite the goal if the flag hadn't been raised and the whistle hadn't been blown.
I'm not sure that Fotheringham was making every effort, shall we say.
I think Fotheringham knew, as Hawkins wins it back for Gillingham. Jeffries was still playing on. Here's a chance for a break. Mahoney fires it forward. Here comes Shea Alexander. No one really with him just yet. Plays the ball in towards Masterson. Jeffries with a slide. Now Gills have got men out of position and Sheffield United have got numbers forward. Archer comes down the left-hand side. Two at the back post if he wants to use them. Goes alone for the moment. Here's Brooks. He puts his left-footed shot wide and it was a pretty pitiful effort in the end. Gillingham horrendously outnumbered on the counter-attack. And Sheffield United, with a bit more killer instinct, might be 2-0 up.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic, to be honest, from the Sheffield United player. He's loads of space on the edge of the box, central, and it was absolutely feeble. Even if it had been on target, there was no power. It was sort of almost bereft of any confidence at all. So a bit of a let-off for Gills, let's be honest. Same time, we got into a really good position, and then Alexander is. Him and Marston, we've got forward. The decision making has just let them down a little bit.
I think if Cameron Archer had been a little bit more confident, he might have probably ignored everyone else and taken it on all by himself as well. As Sheffield United take a throw in and Norrington Davis finds Norwood on the edge of their box. Elsewhere, Welling United 2-0 down against Aveley in the National League South.
It's pity that. We got into a really good position, and I'll say Alexander just. I don't know. Just got a bit excited, maybe. Only he will know the answer to that. But it was a poor decision. The pass was behind his nearest teammates, and suddenly he gets turned over. And if there's lots of space, we know that these guys have got quality. Albeit, thankfully, the final shot was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, a couple of difficult moments for Shea Alexander. Although it feels harsh to blame him when there's so much for Sheffield United to do.
Making the wrong decisions, unfortunately, and I guess that's to some extent that's why you're in League Two and other players are in the Premier League. It's in that situation more often than not making the right decision. He just didn't quite get the pass right.
Just as we were saying about Gills trying to stay in the game for them to be that open on the break again. I'm sure Stephen Clements will be scratching his head, the head coach. Chris Wilder side lead by a 1-0 here on BBC Red Kent Sports Hub as the ball is pinged over the top this time. Jake Turner will get an easy gather.
Again, fortunately, the final ball there was really poor quality. He's just helped it round the corner, and he's pretty disgusted with himself, to be honest. He's just dinked the ball forward for Jake Turner. Thanks very much. I'll have that. Gills, well and truly still in this game at 1-0.
Ball played forward up towards Hawkins, headed away by Norrington Davis. So far has coped pretty well with the aerial stuff that's coming his direction. Jake Turner will get a moment just to control with his chest and bring it back into his penalty area. Sheffield United, as we approach the halfway point of the first half, lead Gillingham here at Priestfield, the Premier League side, by 1-0. Will Asula's goal, managing to sneak past Jake Turner at his near post. Would have to have another look again, but we suspect the goalkeeper will be slightly disappointed with himself from the angle. It was able to go beyond him as he fires the ball forward looking for Naderson. He goes down, foul from Oliver Norwood. Free kick for Gillingham just inside the Sheffield United half.
I think it's the angle of the challenge just bundles him over, gives Gills a slightly cheap free kick, almost literally on the centre circle line, but in the Sheffield United half. Looks like Sheffield United are going to hold the line about 25 yards from goal. Gills, no silly offsides here. Just in this situation, straight onto the goals. It's almost a case of let's dink the ball up and give ourselves a chance, even if it's not with a first header, then a second ball. Just get the ball competitive in the Sheffield United box.
Alexander to take it. Goes short for Mahoney. His left foot just scuffed it a little bit as he made contact. Recycled by Malone up towards Shadoji. Left-footed back across the edge of the box. Sheffield United deal with it again, and they'll look to try and break again here. 2 against 2 on this left-hand side. Numbers now arriving. Malone did well. Gillingham have just got to be careful a bit on the break. They've already conceded 1 in that manner. Could have conceded 2. Ball played over the top for Nadesan to run after it. Norrington Davis staying with him. Defender touches the ball and will have to clear. So it's out of play for a Gillingham throw-in on this right-hand side. Taken quickly by Alexander. Mahoney, on loan from Huddersfield Town, of course, fellow Yorkshire club.
Just tried to dink between 2 players there. Just they got a foot in, but just turned them around. Forced the defender to make a touch, allowed Gills to get a bit of field position.
Coleman left foot out towards Malone. It's come off Sariki, who then falls over.
I think that's ironically a little bit naive from Malone.
Player of his experience. And all
it's certainly going to be a shout for handball, but the ref's not giving it, and he's just got too tight. Lad feels the contact, down he goes, and what can the ref do but give a free kick? But Gills, as we sort of head past the midpoint of this first half, well and truly in the game. There's no two ways about that.
Just seen a tweet from Gillingham saying the half and half scarves sold out for this game. Of course, we were chatting a little bit about them on the huddle last night with one Gillingham fan who's not a fan, but plenty of people clearly were, so that's all that matters from that point of view for the club.
You've got to look at commercial opportunities, and a game against the Premier League club is a one that doesn't come along very often.
Saw quite a few of them, particularly around the necks of some younger fans in the ground ahead of kick-off. Sheffield United winning the ball back on halfway, lead this game by a goal to 0.
I don't think a foot race for Ollie Hawkins. There aren't too many Sheffield United players that are going to get beaten in that, I suspect.
Brooks on the left-hand side, back to Luke Thomas. Now the Welshman Norrington Davis.
Just having to do a fair bit of work, but hopefully not sort of work, using all our energies up here. There's a lot of yards to cover to try and block them out.
Back towards the halfway line. Nadesan putting the centre half under pressure, but finds Cameron Archer. Good tackle coming in from Ethan Coleman. Conor Mahoney hasn't managed to find too many opportunities in this game thus far to work his magic, and then a misplaced pass there. Gills need to find a way to get him in the game.
Certainly he's someone that you feel has perhaps got that little bit of quality out of the Gills midfielders, for example. We've already shown that we can get into some good positions, and on that basis we've still got every reason to think that this game is not beyond us yet, that's for sure.
No Johnny Williams today due to injury for Gillingham, one man in the side who's got, of course, Premier League experience.
Sheffield United keeping possession around the central third. They'll keep probing from a Gills point of view, concentration, putting the work in, and just make sure that we're as difficult to play against as possible, and work on the basis that has already happened in the first 27 minutes of this game. Decent positions will come along.
Worked out towards the right hand side by Norwood. Here's McAtee for the visitors, driving in field, the 21-year-old. Still in possession, the Blades, and back towards halfway. Robinson, the captain, onto Brooks, who missed that opportunity to put them 2-0 up. Fires it out towards the left-hand side, and Thomas. Back towards Brooks now. Just slipping slightly. He's looked to turn back in field. Gillingham at the moment have sat everyone tucked in behind the ball. A little bit of a vibe, of course, with the Brentford game. Another team that play in red and white. Gillingham were backs to the wall for much of that game, but managed to nick it, didn't they, in the League Cup last season, and a brilliant run. Obviously beat Southampton earlier on this season in the League Cup on this ground. Another team in red and white stripes. Perhaps the the omen is still there, Peter, for them to come back from this game.
Oh, it's not beyond us by any means. We expect Sheffield United to have the majority of possession.
They do at the moment have it on the right-hand side, in a fairly advanced position. It's back towards Thomas. Good 35 yards out from goal. Brooks on the left-hand side. As Peter mentioned, Sheffield United are pretty narrow through midfield. Palmer has just gone a bit wider to give them an option, as Robinson just tiptoeing forward at the moment. Thomas has it once more and finds the Dutchman. Up the line for Sariki. Challenge comes in from Shadoji.
Glad like that one. I think that, again though, for the possession and the probing by Sheffield United, the end product wasn't there, and that's I think again from a Gilles point of view, we've got to keep doing that, keep making it difficult, and work on the basis that there will be opportunities.
Gilles trying to just press up the pitch a little bit, with Sheffield United forced to retreat back into their own half, but they have it now on the right hand side with Robinson coming over the halfway line. Chris Wilde has always been a fan of his centre-backs taking the ball forward and joining in. Normally has 3 of them. He's only got 2 today. Oji puts his foot in and tries to win it off Brooks. Coleman then just tugs him back. It'll be a free kick to Sheffield United, who really haven't given Gilles much of a sniff at the ball in the last few minutes.
No, they haven't, but we've got to be realistic. That's likely to happen a lot more than not. A little bit maybe frustration from Coleman. As a city tug, easily a free kick. We've got to deal with these, the set plays. Haven't had too many of them so far, Sheffield United. Keep ourselves in the game.
Yeah, we're on the right-hand side. On with the right foot, curls the ball in towards the penalty area. Awkward one through the corridor of uncertainty, and out of play for a Gillingham goal kick. It was not far away from Jack Robinson, who stretched out a leg towards it, and it didn't quite fall kindly for Brooks at the back post.
Yeah, we got completely busted at that free kick, didn't we? They've come through. There was no suggestion of a flag going up when the lad's gone to play. If he gets a touch, he almost certainly scores. Thankfully, he's missed it, and that's wrong-footed the guy at the back post as well. That again could very easily have been 2-0.
Gillingham have it in the left-back area, but Shadoji put under a little bit of pressure. How to play for a throw-in.
Yeah, got into a little bit of a cul-de-sac there, Oji, and a little bit lucky, if I'm honest. I think he's really kicked it against the nearest man, and he's won the raffle there, but he's gone out for a Gilles throw-in.
Half an hour gone here at Priestfield. Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 1 in the FA Cup third round. Maidstone are in round 4. We'll get reaction to that at half time, and on the show before 6. Here come Gillingham then down the left hand side. Jeffries with his pace trying to poke the ball towards Ashley Nadesan, who's onside and in the box. Norrington Davis does really well to get back goal side of him and put a challenge in.
I'd have to say there, it's a cynical thing to say, but I wonder if Nadesan goes down, it really poses a question for the referee then. I think there was a little bit of contact, probably not enough for him to go down, but I just wonder, he then got out-strengthed. If he'd gone to ground in the box, the ref would have had a huge decision to make.
Yeah, like you say, whether or not there really was enough contact for a penalty, but it would have certainly given the official in the middle a decision to make, because he had got wrong side of the defender. Long throw then coming in from Shadoji towards the near post. Hawkins trying to flick it on, it might come to Maxima. Coleman's there, back towards Maxima. Foot comes in to win the ball for Sheffield United. Jeffries putting a challenge in, the danger's still not away. Oji fouled as Sariki was run over the back of him.
I was suddenly reminded of kids football. Everyone was trying to have a kick whilst the ball was in the penalty area.
It wasn't pretty.
It wasn't very Premier League, was it? And no one really could get the right touch. But again, if you get the ball into those areas and it's bounced around like that, it just needs one lucky moment, one lucky kick, and suddenly you're back on terms.
I don't think I've seen Gillingham score a goal like that all season. Something to fall kindly for someone in the penalty box to just smash it in on a rebound. Surely one of those has got to fall for Gillingham at some point. Mahoney to take the free kick, curls it over into the middle. Hawkins is there, flag is up. Brilliantly kept out by Fodringham as Hawkins dived at the ball and diverted it towards goal. Flag up anyway from Darren Cann on the near side. Wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, I have to say that's a pretty decent save from Fodringham. Ultimately, it was in vain because it was offside. I think that Hawkins is always just the wrong side, unfortunately, but those sort of situations, you get one of those right, and suddenly it's we're back on terms.
Archer for Sheffield United.
They've got a big overload on their right wing.
Norwood Plays it in that direction. Archer trying to get onto the end of this, but Turner does well off his line to come and grab the ball.
That's better from Turner. You know, he's come and taken control of it. He wants to just be careful. The crowd are all saying Panto style, he's behind you. But they had big numbers on their right hand side, the Gills left end, Sheffield United, and tried to play the killer pass probably a little bit too early, and it was just far enough ahead that Turner could go and claim. Maximan
smacks it forward, but that's not towards any of his teammates. One Gillingham player has actually scored a goal that's counted this afternoon. Matty MacArthur, on loan for Dartford, has scored on his debut, and they lead 1-0 away at Western-super-Mare in the National League South. Headed away by Oji. Gillingham trailing by a goal to nil against Premier League Sheffield United here at Priestfield. Will Osula's goal inside the opening 15 minutes.
I just think there's not that much between the teams, it's a great pity really that from a tight angle. Now tell me why that's not a yellow card, ref. The 14 has jumped up in front of Alexander to stop him taking the throw in.
Referee wasn't interested. He said, get on with the game. As OG fires it forward. Gillingham have done that a few times, just gone for that ball over the top for the energy of Jeffries or Naderson, but a few times they've.
I just thought in the early stages of the game, we were looking to really hit Hawkins and primarily hit his body, and I just wondered that bore some fruit, and I just want, it builds a platform to play from, and we seem to have gone away from that and just sort of almost getting rid rather than trying to pick out Hawkins.
Yeah, like you say, there was a couple of decent little knockdowns from him, one of which was offside when Jeffries put it in on the rebound, albeit Sheffield United had virtually stopped playing by that point. They're in possession, the Yorkshire side. It's out on this left with Thomas knocked forward towards Brooks. Marston's going to have to deal with it. He's had to play for a throw-in. Didn't concede the corner, at least.
He didn't. I think he's wondering there that Jake Turner might have come and taken that. Was hoping, I think he would do, and the Gills keeper stayed at home. Throw-in opportunity for the visitors, probably about 10 yards from the corner flag, left side as they see it.
Of course, Jake Turner played in a lot of the cup games last season in the League Cup for Gillingham, but has established himself as the number one this season, but still retaining his place in this competition as Mahoney clears up towards halfway. Hawkins can't control it under pressure from Robinson.
Yeah, it was a pretty un-Mahoney-like pass, if I may say so. He just lamped that one.
Stephen Kermant's clapping his hands, trying to motivate his players, just spark a little bit of energy out of them. At the moment they're just shuttling from right to left in their defensive shape. Sheffield United on the ball inside the Gillingham half and leading this game by a goal to nil.
For the most part, it's a steady tempo of possession for the visitors. It's whether they inject that bit of pace or bit of quality, and all the time they're playing in front of us like this, we can live with this.
Gillingham know they need to take this game deep, take it into the second half when they're attacking the rain amends. Ball played forward though for McAtee. Sliding challenge comes in from Shadoji in characteristic fashion, and the ball out of play for a corner. So danger not over just yet.
Yeah, fed a couple of balls into that kind of right channel position as they would see it, so trying to get it in between OG and Malone, and there again just found a little bit of space in behind, but OG almost a trademark sliding challenge. Sheffield United presumably going to take this corner at some juncture. I might say that they're certainly delaying it at the moment, but as we head into the last 10 minutes before half time, an important phase of the game again from a Gills point of view. We don't really want to be trying to come from two back.
Corner then taken by Harmer in towards the middle, headed away by Masterson, edge of the box. McAtee recycles it back out towards the right hand side. Harmer will try again to cross, but instead the ball has got caught up in his feet.
I don't think that's happened to Sheffield United back when he did those turns.
Didn't quite come off for him. Here's Norrington Davis. The centre half has stayed forward from the set play. Mahoney gets a foot in. Shadoji will just put boot to ball here for Gillingham.
Yeah, he's just kicking for position really as much as anything there, and that's not worked out too bad actually. The ball going out for throw-in. I think it would have been Sheffield United's best interest to keep the ball in play, but they've managed to take the throw-in quickly enough to get the ball back into open play.
BBC Sport Live guide for our two non-league commentaries at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and both of them have just taken the lead in a matter of moments. Usise for Ebbsfleet against Wealdstone, and then Jordan Greenidge for Tunbridge Angels against Weymouth. We'll get half-time reports from Charles Webster and Matt Eastley to hear more about those goals in a few moments' time. Ramsgate 2-1 up at Lancing. In the Isthmian divisions, Cray Wanderers in the Premier are 1-0 up against Lewis. Gillingham trailing by a goal to nil here against Sheffield United. Archer for the visitors. On to Harmer. Switches it for Sariki. 25 yards out from goal, the right back shoots, it's saved by the goalkeeper, but then squeezed in on the rebound, and Sheffield United have their second. Osula has another one. Reacting quickest after the Sariki shot was parried away by Jake Turner, and Gills will have to come from 2 goals down after 39 minutes. It's Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 2.
Well, they worked out a shooting position. It's probably a bit harsh, but again, I suspect Jake Turner's going to be disappointed. He can see that one coming from 25 yards, maybe even a bit more. It's down to his right. It's got to be a big hand away, or it's got to be a hold. And he's pushed it away from goal. He hasn't pushed it out in front of him, but only really just outside the width of the goalpost. And Osula's responded quickly, and he's tucked it away very nicely. But I think that again, from a goalkeeping point of view, I think we're going to be a little disappointed that a shot from that distance wasn't that powerful. And I think that Jake's going to be disappointed with himself, I suspect, for both the goals.
So Gillingham find themselves 2 goals down to Premier League Sheffield United in the FA Cup third round, with 5 minutes to go until the break. A few fans filtering to go queue up at half time for various refreshments. Chris Wilder out on the edge of his technical area to just try and calm down his team, but certainly for all the optimism pre-kick-off, just felt that goal inside 15 minutes just dampened a little bit of the atmosphere, and that certainly has really sort of popped the balloon, if you will, inside Priestfield.
I'm not sure where the ball went out of play, but I can't believe, referee, that this is going to be a card. He's finally run out of patience, and I think the Sheffield United player cannot have the slightest complaint.
So the first yellow card issued by referee Darren Bond is a yellow for the Sheffield United left back for delaying the taking of the throw-in.
It's taken an eternity to take that,
which he finally takes, and Masterson wins it back for Gillingham. Armour gives it away. Alexander knocks the ball forward up towards Naderson. Clear push in the back from Norrington Davis. And Gillingham on the right hand side, midway through the Sheffield United half, will have a free kick. Just how important is it for Gills to potentially see if they can get one back before the break?
It would be massive. It's a long way back from 2 down, obviously, given Gills not exactly prolific in front of goal. But if we could get one before half time, goodness me, that would make for a very interesting second half, I suspect.
Since the Charlton Athletics second round tie, in 5 matches, Gillingham have only scored twice, and that was in the last 2 games, and the 1-0 wins over Sutton and Colchester United. They need 2 to even take this to a replay. Back to Bramall Lane. Mahoney, left-footed free kick, fires it in towards Hawkins, heads it towards goal, saved by the goalkeeper. Naderson on the rebound, and Norwood slid in to deny his goal-bound effort, albeit from a tight angle. It would have been tough to score from there. It's out of play for a corner.
Yeah, that's better. Decent header. Not a half-decent save, you have to say. And he's got, perhaps, Jake Turner will be thinking, hang on, he's just parried one away, and then the teammates got in there and blocked it, rather than at the other end. Obviously, it was second goal. Here comes the corner. Taken
by Mahoney towards the back post, headed away twice by Sheffield United. Scott Malone, a couple of touches with his head, and then a left-foot shot wide of goal.
Yeah, good. You could see there, he's thrown a couple of decent touches. He hasn't really got his body shape right for letting a shot go, and although he's taken it on, he's comfortably wide, and the keeper's got it covered, even if it wasn't. But certainly, a better moment from a Gills point of view.
Given away by Gillingham as OG looked to knock it up the line. It's out of play for a Sheffield United throw in. The Premier League team lead by 2 Will Osula goals to none here at Priestfield on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's going to be some comeback, that's for sure. But we've just shown on occasions that there is a chance for us here, and obviously if you can get one, suddenly the atmosphere is very, very different.
Maidstone United, the giant killers at the moment in the FA Cup third round. Here comes Cameron Archer, His shot blocked, and then Osula for the hat-trick from close range has put it into the Rainham end, looking to profit from another rebound. This one fell a little bit more awkwardly for him, but a let-off for Gillingham. 3-0 at half-time would have been game done and dusted.
It would be very difficult, I must admit, from Freetown. I think Maxime making the point to OG, he sort of launched himself into a challenge, which then, once he didn't win the ball, there was a lot of space for Sheffield United to come into. It would have been very fortunate for him if that had ended up being a hat-trick goal, because it was an outrageous deflection from the blocked shot. Fell nicely.
Ball downfield by Turner, headed away by Sheffield United. Gillingham are going to have to go some if they're going to be in the hat for round 4 on Monday. 2-0 down here prior to the half-time whistle against Sheffield United. Conor Mahoney almost by himself trying to take on Sheffield United at the moment, dribbling up the right-hand side.
Yeah, did well there, Mahoney. Could easily have gone back to the keeper. No, little turn away, down the touchline, gets the team possession back, retains it, and makes a few yards as well. But we need more really of him being involved in the game.
Ball played up towards Hawkins, but headed away by Sariki for the visitors. Dom Jeffries trying to nick it back and deems to have fouled his opposite number.
I think just against the body position that Jeffries comes into the challenge, gets penalised, and
Palmer's still pointing at him. I don't really know what he's complaining about. He's just trying to win the ball.
Should be with us fairly shortly. There's about 30 seconds to go over the 45 minutes. I can't think it's going to be a great deal of additional time. Maybe the goal celebrations.
Ball played forward up towards Brooks. Good challenge coming in from Masterson. Carries the ball well over the halfway line. Bit of space here for Hawkins. Nice return pass as well for Masterson. Only Naderson in the box to hit, and he's got his cross wrong. He is a centre half after all, but it's over the head of Fotheringham and out of play for a goal kick. 2 added minutes to the end of the first half here on BBC Radio Kent.
That's a pity. Nice, I'd say a lovely little reverse ball from Hawkins, and Masterson again, a bit like Alexander, earlier in the half, gets to the advanced position on the right hand side, and it's all suddenly a bit rushed, and the quality disappears, and unfortunately the opportunity goes away, and had a lot of space there to run into. Took it early, perhaps didn't need to.
On the left-hand side, Sheffield United in possession of a 2-0 lead, as well as the football at the moment. 2 from Osula on the Premier League side ahead, and they have a pretty good record against lower division opposition in the FA Cup. Tie number 20 for them in recent times, and they've won 18 of them. This would be 19, so they don't tend to lose to lower division opponents. Gillingham don't tend to beat them, apart from Cardiff, of course, in 2019, and it's going to have to be quite some second half comeback if Gillingham are going to upset those records once more.
Well, there's still a chance here, I'd have to say. I think hope we get into half time at 2-0. Not a great position, but a bit of defending to do here.
Here's McAtee. Gillingham can't afford to go one more down before the break. His shot's blocked. Comes back to Harmer again. Coleman in the way to block.
I think you felt that one.
Right hand side, Sheffield United. Last action of the half. Sariki crosses into the middle. 2 headers away, one from Oji and then from Mahoney. Collected by Norwood out towards the left hand side for Archer. Holds it up well. Norwood on the edge of the box. Little 1-2. Osula getting involved. Away by Coleman.
Just want to get through to half time now. Give ourselves a chance to regroup.
And that is the half-time whistle. Disappointment for those in the majority, certainly inside Priestfield at the break, but it is the visiting supporters away to our right who are going to be the happier of the 2 sets of fans, because Will Osula has found the net on 2 occasions in the first half. First of all on a counter-attack, going around the outside, acute angle as he went beyond Maxima and got his shot in, and Jake Turner perhaps be disappointed that it found its way past him at the near post and rolled over the line into the net. And then the second goal, really good instincts from the striker to react quickest to a rebound after Sariki's shot was pushed away by Jake Turner. I think on the second one, if we criticise the goalkeeper, we probably have to criticise the defenders as well, Peter, that they didn't react as quick as the centre forward, and as a result Sheffield United 2-0 up at the break. Yeah,
it's a long way back. There's no point pretending otherwise. I think we'll be disappointed with both the goals, but particularly the first one, where it appeared from a pretty tight angle. I think Jake's got to do better in that situation, whether it's gone through him or whether it's beaten him at his near post. Doesn't really matter. I mean, from that sort of angle, he probably needs to be keeping those out. He's perhaps a little bit unfortunate with the second one. You're hoping that you push it away from goal, as Fotheringham did just before half-time with the header from Hawkins, and one of your defenders gets back and gets a block in. I think there's a certain amount of optimism early on, and Gills got into good positions. Masterson should have pulled the trigger a touch earlier, and if he had, who knows, that might have put Gills on the way to a famous victory. Sheffield United have had a lot of possession. Gills have to work hard. We know that's how it's going to be. But obviously in the second half we've still got to think that there is some opportunity here, that if we could get the next goal in this game and get back to 2-1, there could be a really strong atmosphere inside Priestfield in the latter stages. It is going to be tough against a decent team, but we've shown just about enough, I think, going forward, that there is still a bit of hope for us that we might get a goal, and if we get one, well, this place will be rocking.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can get the next goal in the game, attacking towards that Rainham end of the second half, we could have a cup tie on our hands in the second half. We had one in the first half of the show, and Maidstone United won it by a 0-0 against Stevenage. A fantastic result for George Elokobi and his side. We got reaction to come on the Sports Hub on BBC Radio Kent before 6 o'clock. But first of all, let's go to our other couple of games, our non-league teams involved this afternoon, get some half-time reports from our reporters. Firstly, Charles Webster, who's been watching Ebbsfleet against Wealdstone in the National League.
Well, at half-time, it's Ebbsfleet 1, Wealdstone 0, a goal after 34 minutes from a free kick. Dominic Polian was brought down by Jack Cook, the Wealdstone skipper, just outside the box. On the left-hand side, it was Toby Edser that played the ball into the 6-yard area. Something of a melee there, but the man of the moment was Usise, who was there to stab the ball into the net for his second goal of the season. It was a fairly undistinguished first half, which I would say the majority of possession, the majority of the territorial play was with the visitors, and they were meticulous and methodical in their build-up, but it was slow, an occasional quick bit, and then back to slow. It didn't get them very far. They've had a couple of near misses. They've had a series of corners. They've had 5 corners to Ebbsfleet's 0 corners, and they've not looked too threatening when they have been getting in the Ebbsfleet box. But Ebbsfleet have got the decisive goal, and now it's all about game management, because for the last 25 games they've conceded, and that stretches all the way back to August bank holiday when they won against Kidderminster. But they've got a clean sheet at half-time here. If they can hold on to that in the second half, game management will bring them 3 points this afternoon. It's going to be all to play for in the next 45 minutes, but at half-time it's Ebbsfleet 1, Wealdstone 0.
Yeah, it feels like a big second half for Ebbsfleet United as they look to try and stay in the National League, and as Charles mentions, their recent troubles with their defensive record, lead by a 0-0 then at the break. Moving into the National League South, Tunbridge Angels playing Maidstone over the festive period. They're playing Weymouth this afternoon, and Matt Eastley's been watching it.
Yes, and they're drawing at half-time, Ben. It's Tunbridge Angels 1, Weymouth 1, a nip and tuck sort of game with two sides looking evenly matched despite the 10 places above Weymouth that Tunbridge currently enjoy. And they took the lead on 35 minutes. Some great dancing feet by Lewis Gard. Took him into the penalty box and put a slide rule pass, put it on a plate for Jordan Greenwich. When I say he literally couldn't miss, he literally couldn't miss. It was 2 yards out, and such was the excellence of the approach play by Gard that Jordan Greenwich just needed to basically get on the end of it and slot it home for his 9th goal of the season. Tunbridge was sitting pretty at that side, but this Weymouth stuff are made of this Weymouth side are made of stern stuff, and inspired by Dorking Loney, Alfie Rutherford, they hit back, and on 42 minutes Tom Bearish, their skipper, finished coolly with his left foot past Johnny Henley to make it 1 apiece. It's been actually quite a good game with both sides. It's been swinging like a pendulum from end to end, and Tunbridge have shown some good flashes. Mo Dabre has been exceptional. Sean Shields back in the side today has placed a couple of good crosses. Jordan Greenwich, even though he's got one, probably needs to have got on a couple more crosses. So Tunbridge Angels, I think Jay Saunders will be broadly satisfied at half time, but they'll be disappointed with that late equaliser in the first half. But it's all to play for in the second. It's Tunbridge Angels 1, Weymouth 1.
Matt, thank you very much. Those are your half-time reports then from our feature games on the Sports Hub at 3 o'clock. Let's get a round-up of the half-time scores with Sam Cole.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Let's start today in the FA Cup. See, in the third round of the FA Cup there were 5 early kickoffs, starting with AFC Wimbledon 1, Ipswich Town 3, Coventry City 6, Oxford United 2, Maidstone United 1, Stevenage 0, Millwall 2, Leicester City 3, and Sunderland 0, Newcastle United 3. To your 3 o'clock kickoffs now, starting with Blackburn Rovers 3, Cambridge United 2, Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 2, Hull City 0, Birmingham City 1, Newport County 0, Eastleigh 0, Norwich City 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Plymouth Argyle 1, Sutton United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 2, AFC Bournemouth 0, Southampton 1, Walsall 0, Stoke City 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, and Watford 0, Chesterfield 1. There are 4 5:30 kickoffs today. Those are Chelsea against Preston North End, Middlesbrough against Aston Villa, Sheffield Wednesday against Cardiff City, and Swansea City against Morecambe. Now to your games in League One. There was 1 early kickoff there, and that finished Fleetwood Town 1, Derby County 3. To the 3 o'clocks though, and Burton Albion 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0 as a half-time score. Cheltenham Town 0, Portsmouth 0. Exeter City 0, Carlisle United 0, and Port Vale 1, Charlton Athletic 1. To the scores in League 2 now, 1 early kickoff there, Harrogate Town 3, Doncaster Rovers 1, Barrow 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, Bradford City 0, Crawley Town 1, Mansfield Town 0, Crewe Alexandra 1, Salford City 1, Forest Green Rovers 1, and Swindon Town 2, Colchester United 1. Now let's have a look at your Kent teams in non-league today, starting in the Vanarama National League. It's currently Ebbsfleet United 1, Wealdstone 0, and Maidenhead United 0, Bromley 0. To the Vanarama National League South now, Dover Athletic 0, Truro City 0 a half-time score, Tunbridge Angels 1, Weymouth 1, Welling United 0, Aveley 3, and Western Supermare 0, Dartford 1. To the Isthmian League Premier Division, Bognor Regis Town 2, Chatham Town 0, Crow Wanderers 1, Lewis 0, Folkestone Invicta 0, Wingate and Finchley 1, and Whitehawk 2, Margate 1. Finally to the Isthmian League South East Division, Ashford United 1, Three Bridges 0, Horndean 1, Erith and Belvedere 0, Lancing 1, Ramsgate 2, Phoenix Sports 0, Broadbridge Heath 1, Sevenoaks Town 1, Herne Bay 1, Sheppey United 1, Chichester City 0, and Sittingbourne 0, Beckenham Town 0. Hythe Town against Cray Valley Paper Mills was postponed. That's all your scores. Now back to Ben Watts and Peter Lloyd at Priestfield.
The Sports Hub.
The Sports Hub.
BBC Radio Kent.
Sam, thank you very much for that. Let's get the latest then from our Kent rugby clubs who are involved in league action this afternoon. And we'll go to Graham Cox.
Yeah, 70 minutes played here at Park Lane. The score is Socially Park 12, Blackheath 21, but the Lancastrians currently enjoying their best period of this second half. They're camped on the Blackheath line, Blackheath defending with all they can. The tally, 2 tries apiece, all in the first half. Andy Riley going over for Sachley Park before Ollie Wallaker driven over for Blackheath. Ollie Leatherbarrow also charging across for the hosts before Matt Dalrymple's neat chip was collected by Leo Fielding for the centre to go across for Blackheath's second try. But it's really the boot of Matt Dalrymple that gives Blackheath the lead. His 3 penalties, 2 of them from long range, and also his line kicking from fly half has been superb. George Daly also making a great first appearance at scrum half for Blackheath. Still, Blackheath defend close to their line. Elsewhere, a half-time score with Tunbridge Judean leading North Walsham by 47 points to 7. Not a great surprise that North Walsham really struggling at the bottom of that table. And in the 2-3 o'clock kickoffs, Bury St Edmunds 19, Canterbury 7 is the latest, and Henley 29, Westcombe Park 5. But Blackheath still holding on here at Park Lane. The score with about 9 minutes remaining is Sedgley Park 12, Blackheath 21.
Graham Cox, thank you very much for those latest rugby scores then. Before we get back underway then for the second half, Gillingham trying to make it through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. The draw on Monday night, Maidstone United, the lowest ranked team left in the competition, are in it. Thanks to this man, Sam Corn, his penalty against Stevenage, the 1-0 win at the Gallagher. He's been chatting to our team after the game.
Listen, we knew in terms of our preparation what was required. Each and every player was excellent today. We had to dug deep at times, but overall I thought we edged it, and it paid off for us.
It really was a team effort, wasn't it? And Jacob brought down for the penalty, you converted. What was that moment like, just walking out to take the pen?
A bit nerve-wracking. We spoke about it in the change room prior to the game, what side I may go, and I changed it. Lucky enough, it paid off. It's a sense of relief for sure.
Did you change it on the way into the run-up, or when the ball was under your arm? What was the thought?
More or less, just as I was about to take it, I thought I'd go the opposite side.
A sweet strike. Can you explain the emotion after that?
It was a great moment to get a 1-0 lead going into the second half, something to hold on to, and we held on to it really well.
You had to dig deep, didn't you, in that second half as well? They came out, you hit the post, hit the bar. Did you ever think you were going to let go of it though?
After they didn't capitalise on their opportunities, I thought, listen, we rode our luck, and I thought this could be our day, and it was.
It's hard to pick out anybody individually. I know usually you'll have an individual star and you scored the goal and people will look towards you, but it felt like such a team effort there, like a corporate effort.
Yeah, listen, I thought everyone was excellent, but for myself, I thought Boney in midfield, I thought Kipps was brilliant, and listen, I can name everyone if I'm honest, but they're the two that stood out for me.
We know Sol Wanjo-Smith's carrying an injury as well up front and ran his heart out the whole game.
Yeah, talking about Sol, yesterday he wasn't sure if he was going to be fit enough, and to get 70 minutes out of him on basically one leg, just run his heart out. Listen, it shows the character he's got in himself, and he's done a massive job for us today.
And beyond this, the 4th round of the FA Cup, first time ever, you're going to be the lowest ranked team in that as well. What does that mean firstly to you?
And there's not many opportunities you get like this, and probably the biggest achievement for me. Now we just hope we get a good draw, maybe away, but then again at home it's a bit of a fortress, so long may it continue.
And have you decided definitively on who you want next round?
Previously I think a nice Premier League club, maybe a Tottenham away, maybe even the City, but maybe Haaland coming to the Gallagher might ain't a bad shout either.
Haaland at the Gallagher would be quite something, wouldn't it? Sam Corn there, the match winner for Maidstone United, the club who are becoming the story of this year's FA Cup, knocking out Barrow in the previous round, the League 2 side, and then League 1 Stevenage today, the lowest ranked team in the competition. National League South side, Maidstone United. What a historic day for them, Peter Lloyd, obviously reforming in the 90s. They got to the 3rd round. Prior to that, back in 1988, and they've gone one further for the first time in the football club's history today. As Matt Gerrard put it, Maidstone Town Centre is going to be lively this evening.
But as you'd expect, I think it's a massive result for the club. It's easy to focus on the financial implications. There's good prize money for getting through to the 4th round, and if you get the right draw, it could be an enormous payday for a club of that size. But this for once put finance to one side, the romance of it. The idea that a club at that level, okay, you could say they've been fortunate enough they've played lower division teams, to get to where they have done, but they're in the last 32 of the FA Cup. I mean, that's, for any team at that level, that is a huge achievement. And who knows what the draw might throw up. There could yet be scope for them to make even further progress. But it's been, what I think that it will be important for them as a club is that, one, enjoy the ride, but at the same time, I guess, they'll want to be somewhere close to National League football for next season. This will, the financial boost of this will hopefully give them, a chance maybe to bring in certain players, the confidence boost, the momentum from it all. But sometimes that can also distract from what your main target is, which is being successful in the league. So, it is a bit of a double-edged sword, but today and tonight they should ride the wave of euphoria that they must have, and look forward to Monday's draw, and who knows, they can, it's been 2 nights dreaming of goodness knows who in round 4, and dare one say it, probably hoping not to be drawn at home, because an away game against someone huge, literally, it's a bit of a cliche, but for the players, the chance of a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely so. And we'll get more reaction from the Maidstone camp before 6 o'clock on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub. But in the meantime, we have second half commentary here from Priestfield. Can Gillingham pull off a miraculous comeback to join Maidstone in the hat for round 4? Here we go then, we're up and running, the players are back out, Gillingham attacking the Rainham end in the second period. And it doesn't look like to me any changes at the break, Peter Lloyd, so we'll run you through the two teams in a moment. But of course it is an uphill task for Gills to come from 2 down in this second period.
It is, but attacking the Rainham end, a bit of momentum. We find a goal, which we threatened a couple of times to do. If we can find one, get back to 2-1, there'll be a huge atmosphere inside this ground. So we've got to play for that. We're going to still spend a lot of time without the ball, I'm sure, but if we find that one goal, that one moment, that suddenly really would just transform this ground and transform the whole atmosphere.
So then, we're a minute into the second half on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub from Priestfield, and it's Sheffield United, the Premier League side, who lead by a couple of goals to nil, both scored by Will Osula in the first half. As it's thrown out by Jake Turner, Gills have him in goal. The 3 centre-halves are Connor Masterson, Max Seamer and Shad Oji. Wing-backs of Scott Malone and Shea Alexander, who are pressed up nice and high at the start of the second period. Ethan Coleman in central midfield along with Dom Jeffries and with Connor Mahoney. Shad Oji there trying to go around the outside of one of the Sheffield United midfielders, but I think he got himself in a difficult position and fouled his man just to complete the line-up. Peter up front, Ollie Hawkins and Ashley Naderson for the Gills.
Yeah, no, that's where at League 2 level he'd probably be able to muscle his way past and outpace the man. Against these players, not quite the same thing, unfortunately, and he's just got caught in possession in a dangerous area.
Archer slips over, Gills trying to profit. They can't nick the ball off the former Villa man, and it's back with Fotheringham, who clears his lines. The Sheffield United goalkeeper. In front of him, Sariki, the right back, Robinson and Norrington Davis, the 2 centre-halves, with Thomas, the left back. Here come Sheffield United with Brooks down the left-hand side, tries to cut it back towards Osula, who's of course on a hat-trick. Cleared away by Gills.
I think the ball bobbled pretty horribly just as he was about to make that cross.
So Brooks in midfield with Norwood and McAtee, and then Archer supporting Osula in attack. Harmer playing on the side as well in midfield. We're a couple of minutes then into this second half here at Priestfield, and it's Brooks turning away from a Gillingham player, nutmegging Dom Jeffries. Little back heel. Osula was there to try and help Brooks out, just almost went through the entire Gills back line. Last ditch challenge coming in. Here comes Sheffield United again. Harmer, the ball comes back to him for Gills' shin. McAtee on the edge of the box, back to Harmer, little scoot pass. McAtee trying to take it in his path, back to Sariki inside the box here. Gills with almost everyone back inside their own penalty area to try and defend this at the moment, as it's recycled, just slowed down slightly by Sheffield United. Thomas out towards the left, and Archer once more on his right foot, looking to shoot towards goal, blocked, and then off the thigh of Oji. Masterson there controlling on his thigh and then trying to clear up towards halfway. Hawkins, Robinson. Well, to me it looked like perhaps they had a piece of each other's shirt. Referee says it's a Gillingham free kick.
Ref knows best, obviously. We all know that. Certainly they've come out with good intensity, Sheffield United. I suspect they've been given a bit of a G up that the game is obviously they're in a very, very strong position, but the game is not over.
Yeah, they were up pretty early actually for the start of this second period. Chills were in the changing room that little bit longer.
Yeah, we mustn't beat ourselves up too much. That's a fabulous ball.
Mahoney firing it across to the left-hand side for Scott Malone. His cross off Sariki, out of play for a corner.
But you see that fabulous crossfield ball, and then the cross has been dealt with, but it's gone out for a corner, and suddenly that gets the crowd going at the Rainham end. Just get a little bit of pressure. You nick a goal, and goodness me, then it could be one hell of a cup tie.
That's what Gillingham need to do to get this next goal in the game, to turn the 2-0 to 2-1, the deficit down to 1 goal. If they can do that, attacking the Rainham end, they're back in this cup tie. Mahoney to take, left-footed, fires it in towards the middle. Ball's gone out of play.
I think he's trying to bend one there into, keep it as tight to the goal line as possible. And unfortunately, he's actually bent it out of play and back in again.
I think the biggest shame so far is that Gillingham haven't found their best level, have they, Peter? They just have, in the first half, not been quite decisive enough or made the correct decisions when in forward areas, and then, that's an uncharacteristic mistake from Mahoney there.
Yeah, you've got to be against players at this level. You've got to be on your best game, and as soon as you're not, then you've got a little bit of a problem. Gilles, we've been competitive, but you need everything to go your way almost, and it hasn't done. As you said, there's been 1 or 2 occasions where decision making or the final pass has just been a little bit rushed, a little bit lacking in quality, and you need those things to come off for you, and at the same time at the other end you've got to be tight defensively.
Coleman trying to win the ball back in central midfield. There was a neat move brewing for Gilles on the left hand side a moment ago, but Naderson just took the wrong option.
I think that, to be fair to Malone, I think he was blocked off by his man. No foul, but that meant he was meant to be getting a return pass from Naderson and was blocked out.
Yeah, didn't try and twist it around the corner to Jeffries, who made a run beyond him either. So Sheffield United have possession. 50 minutes up on the clock over on the far side as we look on from behind the 2 dugouts in the main stand at the back. And Chris Wilder, the happier of the 2 coaches at the moment. Stephen Clements, Gilles' head coach, won a couple of rounds to get to this stage, beat Charlton in the previous round. Hereford in his first game in charge. Can they come from 2 goals down to get in the hat for round 4, like Maidstone United have? Or will Osula be able to sniff out a hat-trick? 2 goals already for him. Out towards the right-hand side. Harmer. McAtee trying to ghost in between 2 defenders. Back to Sariki, the right back. Possible crossing opportunity, but Sheffield United keeping it on the right flank. Ball played forward to Sariki once again, trying to go past Malone. Defended well enough by Gilles, and out of play for a goal kick.
It was, I think, notable difference there between what's just happened those last couple of passages of play when Sheffield United come forward compared to the first half, was that they were playing in front of us a lot more. They were linking little passes 25-30 yards from goal, whereas in the second half they've been doing that sort of inside the penalty area distance from goal. They're getting much higher up the pitch, and that becomes a lot more nervy for Gilles.
Brooks driving forward, goes beyond Maxima. Nobody can take him out or win the ball. Eventually Masterson does do so. There was a couple of really rash lunges from Gillingham players just to try and take him out, which they missed.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Fortunately for Maxima, who's getting a talking to, and for Shadow G.
I think the ref's saying, I've seen what's gone on. I think really they should be carded for that. It doesn't matter you missed. They've tried to take him out and he was too good that you missed him. Perhaps a little bit fortunate there that a Gilles player didn't get a card.
There's not too many players at League 2 level who just drive past Ethan Coleman in the way that Andre Brooks just did. And Sheffield United showing their superior quality thus far this afternoon. 2-0 up here against Gillingham on BBC Radio Kent Sports Hub, the Premier League team.
I think that whilst they've got the technique, they also they've got greater pace and power. You think it's all about finesse at the top level. These guys get around the pitch really quickly and are incredibly strong. And there are occasions here where the thing you're sort of thinking we might have a chance with, they outpower us.
Yeah, it's quite a young team today for Sheffield United, particularly in the forward areas of the pitch. Gillingham winning it back. Harmer has fouled Naderson in centre field, and referee Bond has awarded the kick to Gillingham. So 54th minute of the game, and Gills have a chance just to build a little bit of a platform.
Yeah, I mean, straight onto the goals, albeit it's not that far inside the Sheffield United half. But again, Sheffield United are going to hold about 25 yards from goal. Gills just, no silly offsides here. Just dink it up there, give ourselves a chance. I wonder if Malone's going to play it to Mahoney to change the angle.
Mahoney is available to him on the outside, but he takes it left-footed, deep towards the back post, looking for Hawkins. His original header is half away by Sheffield United. Back in, cleared away I think by Harmer, headed forward by Hawkins. It's Coleman's volley, it's come off a Sheffield United player and out for a corner.
Just get the ball into the box there and it's bouncing around, bit of head tennis. One lucky swing of the leg almost could make a huge difference to this cup tie. And Gills get another corner. This time it'll be an in-swinger from Mahoney. And so there's a reason for the noise coming from the Rainham end and from three sides of this ground, in fairness.
Gillingham then have a chance to try and get a goal back in the game. Mahoney left-footed, curls it in towards the middle, looking for Hawkins, who should have done better. 6 yards out, he's met it, headed it downwards, but without sufficient contact to get it on target.
I think he's very, very disappointed with himself there. That's meat and drink. So it's a decent in-swinging ball, as you say. He's no more than 6 yards out. He's inside the width for the goal, and it's glanced off his head, and it's gone way, way wide of target. And we're not going to make loads of chances.
Hawkins back towards Jeffries. Not the best first touch. Then gets past Sariki, smashed away by Sheffield United, who are just creaking a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Their goalkeeper Wes Fodringham letting them know.
just a glimpse there. Hawkins, well, to be fair, Hawkins should score there. He should be hitting the target and giving the keeper an enormous problem.
Towards Hawkins again. Gillingham want a free kick, referee doesn't give it. Now they come forward on the counter-attack once more. It's 4 against 3 for the moment. Harmer towards McAtee. Room right-hand side of the box. Blue shirts arriving back in defence as McAtee just delays.
It's all left foot, thankfully.
Options available to him, and Norwood back to Thomas. 35 yards out from goal. Here's Harmer on the edge, trying to free himself up for a right-footed shot. Off target. And away out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think Hawkins is having a little chat with the ref saying, look at my shirt, ref. But it's fair to say the ref saying, get back to the halfway line. I'm not going to talk to you about that. I think it's, as you mentioned with the earlier one, when Hawkins did get a free kick, it's a bit 6 and 2 frees. They're both at it. And it's the referee's job is not an easy one in that situation, that's putting it mildly.
Well, Gill's best chances in the game have come from Mahoney deliveries for Hawkins. One good save before the break from Foderingham. As it's fired up towards Hawkins again, he's looking to turn away from his man and he feeds it well out towards the left-hand side. Malone fires it first time in towards the middle. Dealt with by Robinson. Sheffield United away only as far as Shad Oji. Poor touch from Dom Jeffries, took his eye off the ball.
Yeah, I think again there, Gills just not getting the technique or decision making right. The cross from Malone was very early, didn't give any teammates a real chance, just maybe over pressing it, and there Jeffries already thinking about what he's going to do with the ball when he hasn't got it under control first.
Cleared away by Norwood. Ema going up for the header, away by OG. Coleman's got a lot of time. Don't think he quite realised how much he had. OG's header. Sheffield United collect the ball in midfield once more, but Coleman goes hunting, gets an initial block on, forces Sheffield United back to their goalkeeper. A couple of changes incoming for Gillingham in a moment. Jaden Clark and Tom Nichols look like they're about to come on, and it just felt like Gillingham maybe do need a little bit of reinforcement from the bench. Handball on the halfway line, so Gillingham will have a free kick. Got a full-time score from Graham Cox in the rugby. He's just messaged me to say it's Sedgley Park 17, Blackheath 24, so Blackheath getting the points on the road this afternoon in National 1.
That's an important win for Blackheath, but Gills, as you say, the changes are going to be made. There's a 2-0, it's not a great position, but we're still in the hunt at the moment. That was a very optimistic ball, I think, from Jake Turner. Unfortunately, didn't give Mahoney too much chance of getting on the end of it. Be interesting to see quite who gets withdrawn here, whether it's straight swaps. But Gills, hopefully, you wonder, Nichols could be a straight swap, but whether we'll go to a 4.
Yeah, whether they will change it at the back as Maxima fouls Osula. So Tom Nichols and Jaden Clark, who's the one man aside from Naderson in the Gills squad, who's got that pace and can run at defenders.
Just wonder that a little bit of a knock for two players there.
Yeah, both for Sawyer and Ema are currently down.
Yeah, I don't mean any complaints that it's a free kick to the visitors. I think there's just too quick. He's turned away from Max. Whether Max is, with his experience, I think I'll just make sure I don't get a card here.
So it's a straight swap in attack. Nichols for Naderson.
So he hasn't had too many chances. And the other change, it is Alexander. So this will be whether Clark will go and sit as the right wing back, or whether Gills will now go to a 4. I suspect we're going to find out pretty quickly. So certainly, Nichols will obviously go up top and play off Hawkins, and Clark does appear to be heading over into that right wing back position. So the shape presumably is going to stay the same. I'm sure Clark will want him to get on the ball and get forward and get at people. He's got to believe in himself. This is he showed it against Luton Town, scored a lovely goal against a team from this level. Very comparable team, dare one say, to Sheffield United. So he can do it.
Yeah, I guess as the game goes on, potentially it gives Gills the chance to go to more of a 3 at the back rather than the 5, and post those wing backs nice and high. At the moment, quite deep, and Jaden Clark really is playing as the right back as it's cleared away by Turner up towards Tom Nichols.
He's just
been foul on him.
He's just been held in position. The defender's doing nothing wrong at all there. It's just good physicality.
Sheffield United lead by 2-0 here at Priestville. We're beyond the hour mark on BBC Radio Kent as the ball is played over the top. Archer up against Jaden Clark, bit of a mismatch this. Archer on his right foot in the area, twists one way and then the other, still got the ball, trying to find McAtee on the turn, left foot over the top of the crossbar. It's a slight worry for Gills in that Jaden Clark's not a natural defender up against a man who's an actual striker rather than a left winger, but in the end it comes to nothing.
Yeah, fortunately, I think it was Archer got himself into a bit of a cul-de-sac, and then when it fell to McAtee, he's had a bit of a swing at it, and it's comfortably over the bar, thankfully. We've still got the best part half an hour plus stoppage time in this game. It's still scope for Gills.
No foul on Hawkins, no foul on Nasula either.
Yeah, exactly. So identical situations.
McAtee going around the outside of Shadoji, wins the ball. This might go out for a corner though. Yeah, he can't keep it from going out of play for a set piece to Sheffield United. So they'll send Norrington Davis and Jack Robinson forward from the back.
Just when we get switched on, there was a chance for a short one. Every Gills player back within 18 yards of the goal.
Gustavo Hammer takes it quick and short to McAtee, gets it back, looks to cut it back towards the penalty spot. Original flick from Asula, comes back to Archer over the top of the crossbar from 12 yards out. Probably should have done better in truth.
Yeah, it was a chance we could hear the attendance. 801 is the attendance. 1266 are the away supporters that have travelled from, in Jack Leaning's case, not very far, but for the most part from
Yorkshire. Yes, indeed. Headed on by Hawkins. Cleared away by OG.
Yeah, that was
Malone can't keep the ball in play over on the left-hand side.
It's a situation where OG, it's easy from back of the stands, he had an awful lot of time to bring that down. He's gone first time with the outside of his foot. Didn't really give Malone much chance at all, and possession given away slightly cheaply.
Jaden Clark collecting it, trying to go around the outside. I think the ball has gone out of play. Those are the kind of opportunities he'll want to run at this Sheffield United defence.
So as I say, he's just got to believe that he can do this, and go back to that example of that game at Luton where he took them on and scored a really good goal, and it's got to be producing that, otherwise opportunities are going to become fewer and fewer for him.
Well, it's an issue at the moment, isn't it, with Gillingham anyway, scoring goals in terms of that mindset and that confidence as McAtee drives forward with the ball, trying to lay it in towards Asula here, cleared away by Scott Malone, let alone to come from 2-0 down against the Premier League team.
Yeah, so it's a long way back. Sheffield United, for the most part, of controlling the game.
Harmer on the edge of the box, little 1-2, might fall for Archer here. on his right foot, shoots towards goal, kept out by Jake Turner, parried away. Rebound comes back to Sheffield United, but out on the right hand side. It was fairly well dealt with. Ball into the middle, good defending from Connor Masterson to come and head that behind for a corner with Asula lurking.
I just hope for Jake Turner, you know, we said that the 2 goals in the first half, we were disappointed with both of them for various reasons. That shot, you think really, you know, he's patted that one away. You think surely we're trying to catch that, but anyway, corners to defend.
Low ball in towards the near post, away by Dom Jeffries into the Sheffield United fans behind the goal. Dover Athletic trailing at home by a couple of goals to nil. Scored 2 in 4 minutes, Truro City at Crabble. It's the National League South. There's a short corner from Sheffield United, but then given away to Mahoney. Can Gillingham break out here on the right hand side as Jeffries feeds Nichols back up the line to Jeffries? Out of play for a Gillingham throw. That's well done.
I think it is. You know, it was a dreadful attempt at a 1-2 by Sheffield United. Gills did as well as we could do there. Really made way back up to halfway and got possession.
Shadoji for Gillingham. Out towards the left hand side of Malone.
Unfortunately, the midfield is all vacated. Malone's come back inside, and there was no one to give it to.
Gives it away here, OG. Just a few too many times that's happened for Gills this afternoon. Didn't quite click for them in possession.
Just can't, against a team of this calibre, can't be making decisions like that.
Palmer slips over, the ball's gone out of play.
That surely had to be a Gillingham foul, and the referees...
The linesman gave it as a Sheffield United throw. I don't quite know how. Or maybe it's a
throw. No, it's a throw-in. I'm not entirely sure how that decision has been arrived at. The assistant was the one who flagged it.
He was pretty close to it.
Yeah, I think he was just plain wrong.
Little touch.
There.
Chris Wilder was the closest to it, the Sheffield United manager.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to suddenly say, "Oh, excuse me, assistant, I think you've made a mistake, old chap." Give it to the opponents.
Just one win since his return to the Blades dugout in the Premier League. Of course, last time out they lost to Manchester City.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it, playing Manchester City or the Gills?
Slight difference.
That's who we were hoping for in the 4th round. Let's see.
It's been a while since those two teams have famously played one another, of course, as Hawkins gets a little touch on the ball and Jeffries can now bring it over halfway. The Welshman fires it back up to Hawkins, trying to play it on to Tom Nichols. Here's Malone, possible crossing opportunity for Gillingham as it's fired towards the back post. Masterson is there to head it back towards the middle, shouts for handball. Sliding challenge comes in from Ema. Here's Coleman, 25 yards out from goal. Recycles it out to Mahoney on the right wing. Up against Brooks, Mahoney on the outside, right-footed cross into the middle, headed away. Jaden Clark with a nice bit of control on his chest. Back to Mahoney, squaring up Brooks, challenge comes in on him. Recycle, Coleman with the ball into the middle. Free kick from the push from Hawkins on the defender.
Yeah, sadly the final ball into the box just lacked a bit of quality, and Hawkins was always trying to play catch-up there. It was despite the crowd's protestations.
Yeah, that was a blatant foul.
Shove in the back.
It was a pretty needless one, in fairness, because Hawkins had the significant height advantage.
I'm not sure that Brooks is going to be conned by Mahoney again like that. He sort of thought, he's all left foot, and he went on to his right and put the cross in. I suspect he won't be allowing that to happen.
He's about the most two-footed player in the lower divisions, Connor Mahoney. There's Masterson over the halfway line for Gillingham. Mahoney to Coleman. OG. Just a brighter couple of moments for Gillingham in the last few minutes. Played up towards Hawkins, on towards Nichols. Has he handled the ball? I think he has. He goes down wanting a penalty, but it just looked like he cushioned the ball with his arm. And the linesman flagged over on the far side, and it is a free kick to Sheffield United.
Yeah, and the assistant has flagged for a foul, not for an offside. I think that it was absolutely the right thing. A good run from Nichols, just bounced up, and it was going to get away from him, and he's just tried to turn his shoulder in on it. That's a pretty clear obstruction by Mahoney. Crowd obviously in panto mode at the moment, but that was a foul, unfortunately, as well. But that sort of thing, dink a ball up for Hawkins, Nichols running off him.
That's the little moment that Gillingham need, don't they, to try and get their next goal in this game, which is so key. They have to get it. Simply put, to stay in this cup tie, to give themselves a shot at potentially levelling up the game at 2-2. Sheffield United lead by 2-0 at the moment, though.
midway through the second half. That's whisked by.
Ball fired out towards the Sheffield United left. Brooks in possession. Back towards Thomas. Archer up the line.
I've a feeling that one of the Sheffield United players got taken out there.
Brooks is down.
Yes, I think I think Masterson may have got him there as he made an attempt to go and sort of link up with his teammates.
Masterson himself is slightly limping as he collects this pass from Ema and tries to knock the ball around Archer.
And that's the sort of situation you said about the strength of these players. These things are all about finesse and quality and pace. They're also incredibly strong. You know, Masterson would out-muscle most League Two players in that situation, and Archer's just too strong for him.
Back towards the Sheffield United goalkeeper. The visitors in possession. Gillingham with a decent press on at the moment. Certainly an awkward position for the right back as he's robbed of it by Malone. Little dink into the penalty area. Nichols' header. Does it fall for a Gillingham player on the edge? No, it's collected by Norwood. No handball. Given away. Hawkins to Jeffries on the edge. Nicely around the corner from Clark. Mahoney! Into the side netting.
It's just blocked. There was a defender just got to it. Blocked the shot. But suddenly there's an atmosphere inside Priestfield now. Sheffield United just got pressed into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Jules nicked the ball back. We're going to shout foul ball for everything, I suspect. But you just thought that was opening up for the shot, and defender did tremendously well. Heroic block, just pushed it into the side netting.
Mahoney then with the left foot to take the corner, curls it towards the back post. Hawkins' header over the top.
I think
in fact, it might have come off a Sheffield United defender.
Got there, did tremendously well.
Robinson was there with him. He's clearly the threat for Gillingham from these Mahoney deliveries.
Yeah, suddenly a bit of pressure. Same for the crowd to get into teeth into and get behind the team. You know, even though we're 2 down with 20 minutes to play, you know, thinking, you know, there could yet be a fantastic finish.
Mahoney outswinger incoming. Far post looking for Masterson. Can't knock it back. Yes, he can in fact to Jaden Clark. Masterson on the right wing needs a little bit of help. Gets it from Dom Jeffries. Cross into the box is easily headed away by McAtee. A break on here for Sheffield United. No handball given. They flood forward over the halfway line. Men in blue trying to get back. Malone does really well for Gillingham as well. A couple of substitutions incoming for the visitors. We're speaking about the importance of second goals. Ebbsfleet United have got one. Dominic Polian from the spot, and they lead Wealdstone in the National League by 2-0. Ebbsfleet badly need a win, and they might be on the verge of getting it at Stonebridge Road, but still with a good 20 or so minutes to play there. Changes coming then for Sheffield United. Will Osula being withdrawn. And Brereton Diaz is one of the substitutes, the new signing from Villarreal.
Is it Brewster that's coming on as well?
Former Liverpool man, Ryan Brewster.
Yeah, they're obviously scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah, he's worth £23.5 million once upon a time, Ryan Brewster, regarded as a bit of a hot prospect. Hasn't quite lived up to that billing just yet. And then Brereton Diaz, Stoke-born but Chile international.
Yeah, I don't think we come against many players who are technically playing for Villarreal down here at the Gills, yeah, they've got...
This must be a first.
1 or 2 options.
So yeah, changes in attack for the visitors. I think Cameron Archer was the other one that came off. Brewster rather around the corner. Blatant push.
I'm not sure if they sort of just tweaked a hamstring there.
Well, McAtee on OG.
Have you made that challenge? A pretty blatant, a panto foul, dare one say. But some better moments there. You know, the ball around the box. Hawkins, I'm sure we're thinking that, you know, there could be a goal in him yet in the time that remains.
Down the field from Jake Turner, 73rd minute. Hawkins is flick on, trying to find Tom Nichols. Ball comes back to him off a deflection. Thomas wants the goalkeeper to come and get it. He didn't. And then it's fired away by Fotheringham. Out of play over on the right-hand side, or the Gills right.
Hawkins, I mean, the lad stumbled. It gave Hawkins effectively a free header. And you know, it's just bounced around there. You know, if Nichols gets a bit of good fortune, maybe you get a fantastic chance.
Jaden Clark really didn't want to take that throw, did he? Connor Masterson in field, away by Brooks, up towards Brewster. Knocked forward now for Brereton Diaz, the new signing. Left-hand side, attacking the penalty area. Diaz can't find a teammate on the edge of the box. Intercepted by Jeffries. Knocked up the line by Gills and had a play for a throw-in. They still are in this cup tie, despite the fact that Sheffield United are the Premier League lead by 2-0. The next goal, Gillingham could get it. Just give themselves a hint of a chance. Ball played forward is awry, and it's collected by the Sheffield United right back. Gustavo Harmer carries it forward. Space for James McAtee on this right-hand side if he can keep the ball in play, which he can, the Manchester City loanee. Back to Sariki. McAtee in possession once again for Sheffield United, but they're just happy to have the football. Goes back to Robinson. To the left to Thomas. Brereton Diaz. 15 minutes plus stoppages left here at Priestfield for Gillingham to try and find a couple of goals.
Yeah, it's a big ask, but we've known that from the first whistle that it would be. But we've just shown that we can make some chances, and as we get towards the conclusion, what is Sheffield United's game management like? They haven't found themselves 2-0 up with 15 minutes to go very often this season. It's almost a unique thing, given away horribly.
Yeah, Sariki with a bad pass. No away wins all season for Sheffield United, so if Gillingham can put them under a little bit of pressure, like you say, as much as they are experienced Premier League footballers, that willing feeling is something you can't bottle and sell. Given away once again by Sheffield United, this time one back by Malone. Tom Nichols in a little bit of a cul-de-sac, doesn't really have help at the moment, trying to take on defenders all by himself up the left-hand side, and is just doubled up on. Cleared away by Robinson. Brewster wins the original header up against Shad Oji, who is then penalised.
Yeah, I think he was fouling Brewster all day long there, and it was just a matter of whether the ref was going to let an advantage go. But it's not too desperate, is it, for Sheffield United compared to what they're up against here, when they can bring on players of the calibre of Brewster and Diaz.
Brazilian Vinny Souza is going to come on into the midfield in a moment for Sheffield United. No sign of any further Gills changes just yet. 15 to play at Priestfield. Ball forward towards Brereton Diaz, no flag. Looked a bit offside. Not sure the linesman was quite up with play there, in truth.
I think some of the patrons in the lower tier of the Medway stand may have suggested that.
Yes, indeed.
The assistant. Nearly had two balls on the pitch again.
Marston in the right back area for Gillingham. Jaden Clark. Oh, was there a little trip there? There was.
He was just blocked off, wasn't he?
So Gillingham will have a free kick and a chance to clear their lines, but they still trail by a couple of goals to nil. 76 minutes gone now.
I'll try and take him about 10 yards further up the pitch than the actual foul was.
Brooks coming off then for Vinny Souza. Straight swap in midfield for Sheffield United.
Yeah, they've got the opportunity to give some a run out.
Again, football fans, get in touch before 6 o'clock. We're on air. We're going to have loads of reaction from the Gallagher Stadium. Matt Cole speaking to Maidstone players and the manager, of course, after their historic win against Stevenage by a 0-0. Get your thoughts in if you were at that game. Tell us what it was like. If you're a Gillingham fan as well, you can get in touch in all those usual ways. Post a message to us on @BBC Kent Sport on Twitter. Text 81333. Start your message with the word Kent. WhatsApp as well, 08000 321 333. Again, use the word Kent. Absolute fans at the moment. 2-0 up. Could be an important win for them in the National League. That's online along with Tunbridge Angels against Weymouth in the National League South. 1-1 in that one. 0-2 here, Gillingham against Sheffield United. One back on the halfway line by Gills. Coleman out towards Connor Mahoney. Knocks it forward up towards Hawkins. Gets it back, Mahoney. 25 yards out from goal. Currently going from right to left. Jeffries. Scott Malone back to Mahoney. Jeffries. Oh, Mahoney knocks it past Norwood and goes down. Little trip, naughty one. And a free kick for Gillingham over on this left touchline.
I might be tempted to say, is that not a yellow card offence, ref? But there we go. But as it is, Gills get a free kick about 25 yards, maybe a little bit more from goal, but out, as you say, right on the left touchline from an attacking point of view. But again, give ourselves a chance. Play it into that no silly offsides. Get one into that area between they're holding the edge of the box as their defensive line, Sheffield. Get it into that space between there and the keeper. Get a few players attacking it. Yeah,
quality of delivery so important here. Mahoney with a left foot looks to provide it. Maxima's header off the post, the inside of it and out. How's that not gone in?
Goodness me, that is desperately unlucky.
That would have been the goal to bring it back within one and put Gillingham right back in this cup tie. Maxima's header from a set play. He was kept out on New Year's Day by the goalkeeper this time, but the inside of the post. I thought it was going to hit the post and go in, and it didn't. Just rolled away. Sheffield United trying to kill this game off. Brewster through on goal to score the third. Saved by Jake Turner, 1-on-1. Stayed nice and big and kept out the substitute forward.
Yeah, pleased for Jake, actually. He's made it come up with a big save there. Obviously, that was a fantastic chance for Brewster. He should be putting that away and making it 3-0. Are the fates against us here? I mean, that really... absolutely the right delivery. Max has got across his man. Lovely flick header. As you say, it looks for all the world. It's going to go in off the inside of the post, and it bounces away. You just wonder, is it not our day that something like that happens? We've still got 10.5 minutes to play plus stoppage time. You never know, but you just think with just about 10 minutes to go, if that's 2-1. Goodness me, there's an atmosphere here then.
Yeah, then we really would have had a grandstand finish on our hands. But like you say, it felt like it was Maidstone United's day earlier on. Stephen Itchett, the woodwork a couple of times. Just hasn't quite fallen for Gillingham in terms of some of the attacking opportunities they've had.
Yeah, there's going to be a few ifs and buts, and that's what the cup's about on occasions. Hawkins, the header in the second half, but that
ball up the left-hand side for Brereton Diaz. Jaden Clark tracking back. The ball poked away out for a corner. Just even the Tom Nichols ball that's bounced up and hit his arm when he was beyond Hawkins from the flick on and had a chance to shoot towards goal.
Yeah, as we said before the game, as Maidstone had, you need a few bounces of the ball to go your way, and if they do, and that could be the difference between being giant killers and being another statistic on the way out the cup.
Yeah, fairy tale day for Maidstone. Gillingham need a miracle. Ball into the penalty area from the corner, away by Hawkins. Sheffield United lead by 2-0 with 10 minutes to go plus stoppages. The Premier League side recycle it. Turner will come out and catch it. In National League South, Tunbridge Angels through Cody Lyons Foster lead Weymouth by 2-1. At the moment, both Fleet and Angels and Dartford ahead in their respective games in that division. Gillingham in possession inside their own half.
We have made chances. We've just got to hope that we can find one that actually ends up in the back of the net.
Got to make at least 2 more. Try and get back on level terms. Alex Waller's put Dartford 2-1 up at Weston-super-Mare. Challenge going in on Brewster. Referee's getting his card out for Ethan Coleman. He's been reluctant to do so, as you say, for a couple of previous incidents.
Yeah, I obviously felt that was a bit cynical.
Feels a bit of a soft one, but he has gone into the referee's notebook. Free kick incoming. Giovanni Souza, the Brazilian, will take. Luke Thomas onto Brereton Diaz. Bright yellow boots on.
I wonder the last time he had to play wide left.
Ball in towards the edge of the box. Oh, it's a miss by Gillingham and a chance for McAtee to seal the deal and put Sheffield United in the hat. Mistake by Gillingham at the back, and the Manchester City loanee makes absolutely no mistake. 83rd minute at Priestfield. Gillingham down and out of the cup. It's Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 3.
Well, unfortunately, however you say about the first goal, a goalkeeper mistake was the second one. The third one, an horrendous misunderstanding between Malone and OG. They have literally left the ball to each other. As far as I can tell, Christmas was last week, but for McAtee, an absolute gift. He almost should have tied a bow on the ball, and he's just tucked the ball away. He's taking it nicely, but he's literally been gifted a chance, clean through on goal, and he's lifted it over Turner, and sadly. There is, there's the fates for you. Maxime has a header on another day, goes in, it's 2-1. A couple of minutes later, go up the other end, a horrid misunderstanding, gifts an opportunity, and it's 3-0.
Ball downfield, up towards Hawkins. It'll be a throw into Sheffield United. A couple of changes incoming for Gillingham. Unfortunately, in truth, though, Gillingham have just not been at their best today, and they had to be if they were going to get a result, Peter.
No, absolutely right. As we said, you've got to have your big day. you've got to get everything right. You've got to have a bit of luck as well to try and bridge the gap between the teams. And Sheffield United may well be a team that are championship bound in terms of relegation, but they're sort of very, very good players.
Nice play by Malone and Mahoney combining on the edge of the box. Then the return pass was just over hit. It will allow Brereton Diaz to come forward down the left hand side, making a skip in field. Sheffield United just slowing things down now. They have that 3-goal advantage. It's not going to be for Gillingham like it was for Maidstone earlier on against Stevenage. Harmer, little 1-2. Jaden Clark does well actually tracking back. The Gillingham right-sided midfielder playing as a right wing back at the moment.
You just think now that with the time that remains, let's be fair, the game has gone, short of something quite ridiculous happening. That it's very important. We keep our professionalism and our shape. And don't let this get the Sheffield United to make us really put us to the sword in the closing stages.
They're in possession, Sheffield United. Triple changing coming for Gillingham in a moment. As you say, too little too late, unfortunately it feels like for them, but they at least have a few minutes to maybe make an impression. Osborne coming on for Sheffield United, and then for Gillingham, Tim Dieng, Macaulay Bonn and George Lapsley coming on for Ollie Hawkins, for Connor Mahoney, and perhaps for Dom Jeffries as well would be my guess. The official gets to his number, and it is indeed.
And the change for the I think the visitors haven't the guy thought he was coming on. I think decent applause for Jeffries.
Yeah, Ben Osborne was a little bit too keen, wasn't he, to come on?
Yeah, well, I think the player he's replacing has already left the field of play.
No, Norrington Davis has gone off, so I'm sure he's going to play centre half for the conclusion of this.
5 minutes to go.
Be Vinny Souza, who's just going to push back into defence from midfield, because Osborne is a natural midfield player. They've got a couple of young academy lads on the bench, Sheffield United. Wonder if we might see them before the game is out.
Yeah, well, actually, I think that's 3 interruptions from Sheffield United, isn't it? So I guess that's it.
Okay.
That's the 3rd time they've made substitutions in the second half. So I guess that's.
I'd have thought if there was ever an opportunity to try and get those sort of players on the pitch, it's from 3-0 up with about 4 minutes of normal time to play plus stoppages. But they're going to professionally look to try and see out this tie. Chris Wilder's side, they haven't won too many games this season, but this will be one.
Yeah, certainly. It's going to be a case of what might have been. I think we've fallen short of what we were hoping for.
George Lapsley goes in and fouls Brewster. Quick free kick, little 1-2 between Brewster and Harmer. Brewster's shot is deflected, just wide. And now to play for a corner.
Just slightly wrong-footed, Jake Turner, but in the end going wide by about a yard from the post. Going to take this quickly.
They have it with Harmer and McAtee. Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. His second of the game. Quick corner, and from the angle he smashes it beyond Turner. Somersault to celebrate as well in front of the travelling support. 88 minutes gone, Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 4, and they're going through to the 4th round.
Yeah, you have to say there, Gill's just caught napping. The corner's taken quickly. They've worked 2 against 1. He's come towards the corner of the box. We've got a perfect view here to see he has absolutely levered that just inside the far post. Not really much chance, I'd have to say, for Turner. I mean, that's a good hit. Gill's maybe just guilty of switching off a little bit, being punished for it, and that's quality from McAtee, you have to say. He was gifted his the 3rd goal, but that one, he's really buried that,
the scoreline feels a bit harsh on Gillingham, doesn't it? 0-4 down against the Premier League outfit, as it's fired forward by Turner. Comes down to George Lapsley, who strikes it well, but wide of goal.
Yes, actually, I think if that was inside the post, I think the keeper would have been struggling to get to it. It does, I suppose, that ultimately we haven't quite played, we haven't quite hit the level we were hoping for. We've made 1 or 2 individual mistakes, crucially inside our own box, which have led to goals. And the opportunities that have come along, which we know there are not going to be many of them, we've just had a bit of misfortune maybe, or poor technique. and if that happens against players of this calibre, you're going to get hurt. And it is a little bit harsh, but unfortunately that's the gap, if you like, and divide that we were trying to bridge, and to be blunt, today we haven't.
Given away by Sheffield United. Nice little layoff from Bon. Nichols challenged by Sariki. Free kick given to Gillingham, and they will have a chance to knock this towards the box. We were speaking to the Gills head coach and the owner Brad Gallinson this week about transfers. Of course, it is January. Quality over quantity is the message. I think the exact words, in fact, from both of them in terms of what they're looking to do this month. But clearly it's not a case of trying to beat Premier League teams every week. It's League Two, but trying to push on from 10th place, and it will be back to their league ambitions after this game. 4-0 down here against Sheffield United as Malone chips the ball into the box. Can they get something to cheer about? Not at the time being, as it's smashed away by United. Shaden Clark's header collected by Norwood, who smashes it out to the left hand side. Harmer has Brereton Diaz around the outside. Brereton Diaz saved by Jake Turner. Couple of decent saves one-on-one in this second half from the Chile international, having also saved from Ryan Brewster as well.
Yeah, I'm pleased for Jake that he's made those saves. It's not going to make a difference to the final outcome, and I'm sure he'll be beating himself up about the importance, particularly of the first goal. But he has made a couple of decent saves in this second half.
Sheffield United come forward again, headed away by Tim Dieng on the edge of the box. Luke Thomas might have had a shot from 35 yards out if the crowd had their way, but they work it out of play in the end for a goal kick.
Yeah, there's only, I think, one additional minute. I don't think too many Gills fans are going to complain. There's the Raynham end has started to empty quite significantly. Sheffield United fans, I'm sure, enjoying the luxury of being 4-0 up against anybody.
Away by Turner. As Peter says, it's flicked on by Bon. Gills haven't quite managed to bring their best today, like they did in the previous round against Charlton Athletic. Just not quite the same.
It's a different level again, though, isn't it? That Charlton.
Well, of course it is level in terms of the opposition, but just in terms of the Gills' performance, they haven't managed to reach those heights in terms of the precision that they found going forward, etc. As Turner is forced to knock the ball out of play for a Sheffield United throw-in.
Yeah, it was going to be a. There we go.
The referee blows the whistle then. Gillingham out of the FA Cup, beaten comprehensively in the end by the Premier League's bottom club. Sheffield United running out 4-0 winners thanks to a mixture of Gillingham errors at the back and then a little bit of quality, a little sprinkling from James McAtee with his 2 late goals to light up Priestfield in this fixture. But Gillingham 2 goals down at the break after Will Asula's double. One of those sneaking past Turner at his near post, and the second one he reacted quickest to turn in a rebound after Jake Turner's original save. Gillingham with their own chances. Hawkins kept out by Wes Fodringham. The Max Ema header, which hit the inside of the post and came out, would have made it 2-1 and potentially could have led to a grandstand finish with Gillingham attacking the Raynham end. But that mistake at the back, which allowed McAtee to get his first, was the breathing space that Sheffield United needed, and before long they scored that fantastic strike after the quick corner as well. How do you sum up the afternoon's events from a Gillingham point of view, Peter Lloyd?
I think we'll be disappointed. The final margin of defeat looks like a bit of a hide-in. I think that we've acquitted ourselves reasonably well, but as we've said, when you're up against teams of this calibre, you've got to produce it, and you've got to be at your best, and you need a little bit of good fortune as well. And ultimately, we haven't achieved any of those things. We've not hit our best levels. We've not had the bounce of the ball as well. The best team won. Sheffield United, player for player, collectively, are significantly better than us. They might be seen as Premier League whipping boys, but to be honest, they're in a different world compared to what we're facing week in, week out. So we're disappointed about the final outcome. I think we'll look back on 1 or 2 of the goals, particularly probably the first and the third one, that we've somewhat gifted the opportunity to our opponents, which they've taken. But we made some chances. We'll probably be disappointed we haven't walked off the pitch without having scored. And as you mentioned, would it have changed the result? Maybe not. But if Maxime had gone in at 2-1 with about a quarter of an hour to go, or 10 minutes to go, would have been a massive atmosphere for the last few minutes. And a big crowd have turned up. will probably, for the majority, will go away disappointed. But the best team won, and everything that we needed to go in our favour didn't. And Sheffield United have ended up winning fairly comfortably.
Not to be today for Gillingham. It certainly was for Maidstone United. Loads of reaction to come from the Gallagher Stadium. But in the meantime, we're going to hand back to Matt Cole, who's back in the studio after witnessing history earlier on in the county town. Wasn't to be, though, for Gillingham following that up against Premier League opposition. In the end, quality telling. 2 goals from Asula, 2 from McAtee, and it ends here at Priestfield. Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 4.
Thank you both, Ben and Peter, for that one. It can go that way, can't it, Gillingham fans? You're playing a team 3 divisions above a Premier League side. Although they're struggling, it can happen, can't it? Was there something you'll take out of that, Gills fans? I'd love to hear from you in the final hour of the programme, that you saw different levels of teams, obviously, different in terms of financial backing, obviously, when you're up against a Premier League side, or was it disappointing in any case for you? You can text us 81333 and start your text with the word Kent at any time. 08000 321 333. That's your WhatsApp number. Start your message with the word Kent there, or you can simply go on X and post to us at BBC Kent Sport. So that one's over. Gills beaten 4-0 at home to Sheffield United, as Ben was alluding to there. If you're just joining us, Maidstone